Good afternoon, everyone. The next part of the program, we're going to have reflections from different people who Paul has impacted and influenced. The first speaker we have as a teacher, Mr. Carnell White.
Good afternoon. You know, when I first became principal of Miami Carroll City Senior High School, some 30 years, 4 months, and 23 days today. Doesn't seem like it's been that long, does it? First African American principal we had here at that time. And when I got here, you know, during that time, Carroll City did not have the most sterling reputation. In fact, I would go to meetings and people would see me and say, "Hey, where have you been assigned?" I said, "Miami Carroll City." They said, shake their head, be patting on the shoulder. But it didn't take long for me to realize and get to here that there was really nothing wrong with Carroll City. There was a small infusion wouldn't take care of it. We needed people here who first and foremost wanted to be here, who cared, was willing to care, and thought it not robbery to care about the young boys and girls here in the school, young men and women. We were fortunate that we were able to create a family environment. We could say no one does anything to make the family ever look bad. And to our students, we admonish them that at all times that your chief pride show. Chief pride. Once a chief, always a chief. Chief pride show. For those of us who believe, we've heard your preacher say many times that none of us come to stay. We're just pilgrims passing through this barren land. I come here today to say thank God for allowing a pilgrim known as Paul Andrew Moore to stop by a place called Miami Carroll City Senior High School. Because of his presence and his impact, it will never be the same. It will never be the same. This gentle giant of a man, slow to anger, slow to criticize, slow to judge. I pray for those things every day, because I can have it that way. This even-keeled, even-tempered person who thought it not robbery to give up his time, his talent, and his treasure to the young men and women of the school, to his family. And if you think it not so, you need to see him with his girls, his lady Jesus. I can see that old white station wagon now. He went out and got a station wagon. How was it? I can see that old white station wagon now. Coming out of the brown house and taking the other area. But he created out there for kids. He coming through them, loaded down with his girls. Paul had to put this brown transport this young lady. And when they had place to be all over God's kingdom, he was taking them here and there. And to think he did not give up his time, talent, and treasure. You know, they say where a man's heart is, so will his treasure. Paul's heart was it. Because Paul went into his pocket oftentimes, I came to find out. When we didn't know how they were going or how they got there, Paul gave from his pocket. All for the betterment of his kids, particularly his young ladies. And so it is, if you want to do anything for Paul, Paul is not here to hear us now. I'm thankful that his family is here, family members are here. Keep in mind that you too can contribute just as Paul did. And what a better name to have, Paul. It reminds us so much of the Apostle Paul in some ways. Now, it's not church, I won't go into that right now. But he realized that he had a citizenship that was not just here. And I'll leave that there. But you have an opportunity to give of yourself to young men and young women just as Paul Andrew Moore did. If you want to do anything to keep in mind his legacy, make the choice to make a contribution to someone other than yourself by helping out in particular our young men and our young women who need us. Get away from self-glorification and self-satisfaction. Be not selfish. You too can give of your time, your talent, and your treasure. And remember, last but not least, Paul is no more dead in your capacity to remember his good work than to keep him here in your heart. Physical death is one thing. Spiritually, we talk differently. Keep him here. Dedicate yourself to doing something positive for someone other than yourself. Remember his good works. And you will never forget or let down Paul Andrew Moore. Thank you.
Now we will have Mr. Nelson Izquierdo.
Family, friends, and associates of an individual that we respected and loved so much. We're gathered here to pay our respects to such an outstanding person. I think back only 4 years ago, Mr. White, not 30, when I was appointed principal here at Miami Carroll City Senior High School, and I myself looked for those key members of the faculty and staff that were leaders at the school. Immediately, I identified Coach Paul Moore. Why Coach Paul Moore? Well, those of you that know him well, because of his love and passion for the students, for the faculty and staff, for the community of Carroll City. Also, Mr. Moore was someone who was an excellent writer. He was very articulate. But more importantly, you know Coach Moore was not afraid to fight the good fight. Many told me, Mr. Izquierdo, get ready. Coach Moore will challenge you and battle you at every initiative of every step that you take. Well, quite honestly, that was furthest from the truth. Coach Moore became one of my biggest allies at Miami Carroll City Senior High School. And I think that was because of the mutual respect that we had for each other. And we shared a lot of similarities. Coach Moore and I understood that family was very important. We spoke many, many times, unfortunately for his tragedy with his son. And he knew I had 2 boys, and he was very interested and always asked me, what's going on, Mr. Izquierdo? Are you going to their baseball games? Are you going to their school? What are you guys doing for vacation? We had wonderful conversations about those. Coach Moore and I also shared a passion for history and politics because we were both social studies teachers. So we had outstanding conversations, specifically when it came to politics and education. You know how Coach Moore felt about FCAT. It was truly a 4-letter word for him. When it came to education, Coach Moore felt that he needed to teach his students real-world applications. He wanted to prepare them for the real world. He wanted to teach them life lessons. What was important to Coach Moore is that all the students at Carroll City graduated from Carroll City. And Coach, I have some good news for you today. If I am correct, the graduation rate 4 years ago was 54%. And it is my understanding that last year's class graduated at 72%. So that good fight that you've been fighting, Coach, is coming to be true. In addition to that, as he's been referred to, he's a coach. I am a coach. So we shared a lot of similar leadership styles. We wanted our team to work hard, to have discipline, to be team members. At the same time, we felt that we needed to have our team in the right place to be successful. We needed to equip them with the tools that they needed to be successful. So we shared that vision. And that continued to grow in his ally to my administration. I can tell you that last year, while Coach Moore was fighting a good fight with this illness, I walked into his classroom while there was a substitute teacher there, and the students were being somewhat unruly. The moment I walked in, they sat down immediately and paid complete attention. Under those circumstances, I would have usually raised my tone and been very directive to the students. But I knew in this classroom, all I had to say was, you know what Coach Moore is going through. Because Coach Moore was very translucent with the students. He shared everything. What would you feel like if Coach Moore would have walked into this classroom and seen what I saw? Immediately, those students opened up their books, took out their pens and pencils, took out their paper, and got immediately to work. That was the love and care that the students had for Coach Moore. As you know, we have lost a hero and a legend here at Carroll City Senior High School. At the same time, this father is with a son that truly needed to see him. And I believe a father that truly needed to see his son. Coach Moore, rest in peace, as Chief Pride will continue. Thank you.